Welcome back, Screamers. It is the sad time of the year. Halloween is officially over, and so is the 2019 Fright Tour. It was a short one this year, only 6 spots I visited. I did cancel it in August because of financial reasons, as you heard from my last video. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, so I put a message up that Fright Tour would not be operating this year, and you guys let me have it. You were so unhappy that I was going to be postponing the tour till next year, our 10th year of Screams. So I couldn't disappoint you guys. I had to do something, and 6 is all I could do. So I found myself at a haunt that I reviewed, I think back in 2010, but then lost the review due to a server wipe. I went 20 minutes from my house. Yes, it was a close one, so thankfully I didn't have to travel far for this one. But it is a haunt that is right up the road from Six Flags Great Adventure. You know me, I do not go to theme parks. I think Fright Fest is overrated, and over the last couple of years has become overbearingly horrible. But I find myself not at Six Flags Great Adventure. I find myself at Nightmare at Gravity Hill. This one attraction but massive haunt is located in a town called Jackson. It is 20 minutes from me here in New Jersey. Like I said, I have reviewed it before. I have to review it again because I cannot have a skull rating without a video review. That's how I'm doing my reviews now, so I have to change all of my textual reviews into visual reviews. So I figured since it was going to be a light tour for me, why not go to a place that I've already been to and put it on the tour and get myself a video review for that location. Nightmare at Gravity Hill is a 45-minute walk through a menagerie of different scenes of terror, including a meat locker, a cemetery, a Western Midway, churches, an asylum, prison, movie theater. It's got anything for everyone. Basically, it's just like everything but the kitchen sink. So I got there on a Friday night at 7 p.m. opening, and I figured since it was the weekend before Halloween that majority of people would be enjoying a Halloween costume party, out partying, not going to a haunt. Usually the weekend before that's the busiest weekend, and I was up in Connecticut. But it was October 25th, and it was a Friday night, and the line, as you can see by the photo, was not that long. So I didn't want to wait in that small line anyway, so I bought the VIP pass and got ushered into a shorter line and got put through with this small group of 3, 2 girls that have never been before. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll walk through with them. And I was like, all right, great. They're not going to send gigantic groups through. You're going to get to go in small groups. So we began our walk, and we began experiencing what Nightmare at Gravity Hill had to offer. And the girls in front of me were a little hesitant on going, which is fine. So they kind of ushered me to the front of the line, and I loved that because then I got to walk at my own pace. And let me just say that my favorite part of Nightmare at Gravity Hill is definitely the beginning. I love the Western Midway that you walk through. It's dark. It's so creepy. It's so quiet. And then at the end of that Midway is a church. And that church setting is just so cool. The only thing I would say is that with the hooded figures that you have in that church, I don't know, it just felt kind of off, like where the person was placed that was actually alive and actually scared people. It wasn't effective to me because I kind of saw it coming. But I loved it. It was open air. It was dark. It had like your stigmata symbol on the wall with a bunch of candles. I really liked that. And then you come out and you walk around the corner and you go into this picture perfect I want to live in cemetery. I think when I reviewed it back in 2010, I said the same exact thing. This cemetery is probably my favorite part of any haunt that I've ever walked through. It's dark. It's creepy. It's so misty. The tombstones look so real. There's this gigantic Grim Reaper that hangs over you. The actors are so good at hiding in the shadows. I was by myself at this point because the girls just took forever to walk, so I was alone. But I absolutely love the cemetery. If Nightmare at Gravity Hill was just a cemetery and they just did that, I mean, I would pay $50 to walk through. It was beautiful. I'd probably pop a tent and live there. That's how great it was. I didn't want to leave the cemetery, but you have to because I can't stay there because I'm going to ruin it for everyone. Maybe I'll go and act in it next year. Unwillingly coming out of the cemetery, and I say unwillingly because I would, for one, love to move in there, but I know that's not possible. But you get into the meat, the guts of Nightmare at Gravity Hill, and for the first time, guys, the first time, I am handing out FrightTour's first and only inconclusive rating. This means that something happened that was beyond the control of the haunt owners and the creative team at Nightmare at Gravity Hill that I experienced that is not allowing me to provide a proper, unbiased, honest, truthful review and provide them with an actual real rating. If I were to base my rating and my review off of what I experienced, it would be a 1 skull out of 5. And I feel that I cannot do that I cannot put that 1 up there, knowing that this was beyond the control of those who own Nightmare at Gravity Hill, that this was simply a problem that arose from a group well ahead of me. A group of 5 people caused bottlenecking and a huge, gigantic conga-style line to form because what they wanted to do is they wanted to experience the haunt at their own pace. They wanted to stop every 5 minutes before they walked into a new section. They wanted to stop and look at every single little detail and really actually stop the line. They just kept, they didn't keep moving. There was a part in the prison and a part in the movie theater where they actually full-blown stopped, all right, to check things out, causing the line to back up, causing it to become a traffic jam, causing it to become like I was sitting on the interstate in my car, upset because I'm sitting in traffic. I could not experience Nightmare at Gravity Hill in full. The sets, the actors were great, but I did not get to experience it like Joe Schmo did on Saturday, October 19th, or whatever the case may be, because of this group in front of me. My group of 3 turned into a group of 17. And it was constant stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. It actually got to the point where I actually contemplated running through an employee exit to get to the next section so I could get ahead of these people. Now, personally, I know myself, if I really wanted to take the time and dive into a haunted attraction and be really inquisitive on it, I would step aside and say, here, sir or madam, you are more than welcome to go ahead of me because I'm going to take my time. But I would never do that, all right? Because I know that there are people behind you who are spaced out based off of time. And if you constantly stop and you constantly take your time, that group behind you is going to catch up and you are going to cause problems. Or if you decide that you're paying $40 or $35 to walk through a haunt, but you in fact run through it because you're acting a fool, then you catch up to the group behind you. So for me, unfortunately, I cannot provide an honest, unbiased, truthful review of Nightmare at Gravity Hill. It is my first time that I am ever putting this out there, my only time thus far. I hope there's no more of this, but unfortunately, I have to put out an inconclusive review for Nightmare at Gravity Hill. Well, Screamers, that is it for 2019. The tour has officially come to an end. I apologize that I was not able to provide an actual review for Nightmare at Gravity Hill. I feel that I would be doing myself wrong, and Nightmare at Gravity Hill for that matter, if I were to give them an honest review of what I experienced, since it was something that was beyond their control, something that was beyond my control. I am leaving it as an inclusive review at this moment, but that means for 2020 that Nightmare at Gravity Hill will be officially put on that roster, so that way I can change this review and get an actual formal video review up of the attraction for you guys to watch. But it doesn't stop here. I'm only one person. I'm only one mouth. You guys all have nimble fingers that you can easily type on your smartphone or your computer. You need to go to my Hauntingly Beautiful website and access the haunted attractions that you've been to. Each of them have their own personal haunt page where you can provide testimonials, snippets, and reviews of your experiences. I have a lot of new things coming up for 2019/2020 during the off season where I normally go very dormant and very quiet. I will be making noise not only on the website, but also here on my YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe and ring that bell. Find us on Facebook and like us. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And until next year, guys, or actually, scratch that, until December, happy screaming.